when I came home, I had to just jump back into motherhood. And it was difficult because I really didn't know my kids. I didn't know pretty much. They'll write me, tell me what they like, but I really didn't know too much. And it was difficult. But then I didn't even really know my husband at the time too, because I haven't been with him for like 5 years. So,
and how long were you guys together prior to you being incarcerated?
What was it? 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were together 10 years before you went to jail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello, world. Thanks for tuning in to Meet the Shoe podcast. My name is Sade.
And I'm Danina.
And we are so excited to bring to you some news, just different things to just inform you guys about. And the reason we started this podcast, we've been procrastinating forever. We started like 2 years ago, and then we dropped the ball because we're busy doing other things. But today we are launching this, and we mean it. The reason we started this podcast is to, just have information for people that were
formerly incarcerated.
Yeah, formerly incarcerated, and some people that are incarcerated, try to find programs and stuff for them to be released and stay out of the prison system. So I don't know, we came up with the name. We came up with pretty much a lot of different names, but what does it mean to you, Danina?
Salute hustlers unapologetically. Solidify hustlers unknown. Means to me people that have risked their life to go to prison. Don't know the consequences until they get in trouble. It's easy to get in trouble, very hard to get out of trouble. So everyone that has been released from prison has always dealt with depression or just struggling of trying to prevent themselves from going back to prison. And they never have the right resources, or they're struggling with income, trying to stay afloat as far as keeping a place to stay, keeping a job because someone's constantly reminding you of your felony or any kind of conviction you may have. They're constantly penalizing you, and you've done the time already.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to get rid of that stigma because you have a felony in your background. So like you said, it would constantly remind you in every aspect of your life that, oh, you're a felon, you got this big stamp on you, and it's like no forgiveness, no redemption in our community for people like us.
Well, a lot of times people, being as though, especially if you're a prior inmate that went to prison for getting money. When you get out, you obviously don't have the money you had before you went.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get home, it's really hard to adapt to pennies, basically. The minimum wage is $7.50 and rent is $1,200.
Right.
That's just for a decent place. That's anywhere. You got to pay at least $1,200 for rent. You could roommate with people, but you've been locked up and you've been roommating with people for however many years or time that you've done. So you definitely don't want to roommate with anybody. Mm-hmm. So, we're just here as a platform to give out information, to give out support, and to basically just be a platform for people and families that have went through, a family member being incarcerated, a close friend, especially the state of the world right now with the new laws that are changing that Trump has signed on to release people from prison by giving them more good time. Also, different state laws have changed in each, state. That was on a federal level that Donald Trump signed the First Step Act into effect, which will take effect probably in July 2019. He's going to make it retroactive, so that will release a lot of people from federal prison. Also, he has teamed up with Kim Kardashian to release a prior inmate that had a life sentence, and he commuted it and gave her immediate release after 20 years. And
what was she in prison for?
She had a drug conviction.
Okay.
Like trafficking. She was a minor role, so there really wasn't a reason for her to even be there for 20 years.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. So we're just here as a platform to be supportive to people that has been incarcerated and family members that don't know how to deal with their loved ones returning home. You know, some loved ones have a lot of issues with not understanding a person's mindset after being locked up, you know, why they, you know, are so upset or angry all the time. Do you find yourself being angry?
At times. When I first came home, yes, I was angry. I was mad at the system. I was just certain things that happened. But in the same token, I was relieved and happy. But I think because I was in the profession I was in, that I'm in the hair industry, it was easy for me to jump on the bandwagon and get a job.
Okay, so give us a little description of your first dreams of being released. Like, what did you know that you were going to do? Because if you don't know what you're going to do upon returning to society, you know, it's easy for you to fail. If you don't have a plan written out or, you know, that you don't have a plug as far as a job and a place to stay when you get home, you know, what dream or goal did you have? What was the first goal that you knocked down when you were released?
Well, I had a bunch of goals I set for myself, but I think the first and foremost thing was to just reunite with my kids because they were young.
Right.
So when I came home, they were like 8 and 9 years old. So I had to just get back.
And you have how many kids?
I have 3.
Okay.
So my oldest, he graduated from high school and everything by the time I came home.
Okay.
So he was in his young 20s and living out of town, so he wasn't living in the home.
Okay.
So when I came home, you know, I had to just jump back into motherhood, and it was difficult because I really didn't know my kids. I didn't know pretty much. They'll write me and tell me what they like, but I really didn't know too much. And it was difficult. Okay. But then I didn't even really know my husband at the time too, because I mean I haven't been with him for like 5 years. So
and how long were you guys together prior to you being incarcerated?
What was it? 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were together 10 years before you went to jail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, so he was really like your support system when you got home?
Yeah.
And he was, how did the living arrangements go? How did you, what was your first job you did when you got home?
First thing, I didn't have to cook anything the first day, so that was a good thing. But first 2 days. But after that, back into motherhood, cooking, cleaning. Took the kids to school that next week. There was a Thanksgiving holiday, so took them to school, and everybody was happy. Okay. But the next step was to find me a job, and it was really hard. Because I had to abide by ISR rules because I was.
And what is ISR? Explain to the world what ISR means.
Intense supervision. Some people get a bracelet and some people don't, because I was in the CIP program, which is the boot camp program for early release. So I did get an early release of 4 years. And then and
immediately when you're released, you had to go on the ankle bracelet?
I didn't have to go on the ankle bracelet because I was in the Rochester area here, so it's a small community.
Okay.
So they kept tabs on me by having a daily schedule. Okay. I wrote right out every day what I'm doing, where I'm going for a week, and every week I have to turn that in. Okay. And same token, when I leave the house, I call before I leave the house. I call each destination I go to. I call when I leave. So they kept tabs on me every second. So that kind of frustrated me, but I still didn't let that bring me down. So that 1 week out, I immediately found a job.
Okay.
So
what was your first job? What was your job?
I was working at a hair salon.
Okay.
One of those high class salons. I was the first and only black person working there.
Okay.
So
it broke
nice.
a barrier.
Yeah.
Right.
So they sent me to training to New York, and
wow.
I mean it was nice. I loved it. It's just other little
so
things.
So by you networking and stepping outside of yourself, dealing in other communities, expanding yourself into other cultures, and dealing with other people, you know, on higher level, did that intimidate you any?
No, it didn't, because before then I was working with all classes of, you know, cultures, so I'm pretty much
so the penitentiary prepared you to be diverse.
Yes.
Okay.
It really did.
Okay.
So I did that job, worked there, and still had to turn in a schedule, but I did meet all the goals that I set forth to myself.
Okay.
But unlike other people, I know it's difficult, because I had a friend that couldn't even find a job.
Okay.
Because maybe she didn't have that training or that specified training like I did doing hair.
And she was in the hair industry as well?
No, she was trying to find factory work or whatever like that. So everybody would say, oh, you have a
So she didn't have a trade.
No, she didn't have a trade.
And so that's the difference. See, you guys, that's the difference. With Sade, she left and she had a trade that she was already pursuing. She already had a gift and a talent that she was preparing to her bigger goal, that where she is now with owning a salon and putting out products. At the time when she was in the penitentiary, she visualized it, right?
Exactly.
And then so your first step was to get out and do first what? Go to work for somebody so you can learn, right? Now, being as though people, the average person that gets out, they don't know what they're going to do.
No.
So by her being released and, you know, a prior, you know, co-inmate that was with you that tried to go, and you guys are, what, in the same halfway house?
We both went to our homes.
Oh, okay.
CIP.
And she couldn't find
a job.
Okay. And so when you don't find a job, what happens?
You're still on restriction where you have to be in the house at a certain time.
Did she have children?
Her children wasn't with her at the time, so that was probably a good thing. So she can get out from 10 to 2 every day, job searching.
Okay.
So it took her about a month to find something. But everybody asked that felony question.
Right.
Which sucked.
Right.
And then she lived with her family members. So when it was time for her to go look for a place, nobody really wanted to give her a place. Wow. So we have that problem. It's like it's double jeopardy. We serve our time, do our time, we get out. We're still serving time on the street.
Right.
We can't even get housing. You can't find a decent job because, hey, red flag.
Right.
That's felony. And
so what helped you get over the obstacles and just the being stressed out about, man, I don't want to go try to get another job because they're going to ask me again. You know, just explaining yourself all over again. It's like you're being on trial.
Exactly. But you know what? I had got to the point, you know, because I was doing speakers bureau in prison, you know, just telling my life story. So I got comfortable with my skin, and I didn't care what people thought about me and what happened in my life that was in the past. So I didn't mind telling my testimony.
Right.
And my testimony helped somebody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like an open book. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Right. So when I first walked in the door, I told the lady what was going on with me. She said, oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You know, she said, we'd love to have you here. Okay. So, and I just...
So you were blessed right out the gate.
Even with the moving in, my husband, he told the guy, look, my wife is getting out of prison. I signed the lease. He said, okay, that's no problem. You know, so you have some good people here that just give you a chance, and you just got to keep it and make sure it's right. Okay.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. I am Danina, and this is Sade, who was just previously speaking. We just were giving you a little insight on the obstacles that Sade has faced, you know, before and after being released from prison. On the next episode, we will describe what I went through prior to being released and from me being released. You can find us on Instagram, Meet the Shoe, and YouTube, Meet the Shoe. Yes. Or you can, if you have any questions, if you have any information, or you want to help anyone that has been locked up and, you know, you just want to lend a helping hand and you have information, you can email us at meettheshoe@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in.